Counting blessings, learning lesson got me feeling special. Spending money, mama said, hope the Lord bless you. Everything I ever wanted, had to pray for. Anything I did wrong, had to pay for. I'll do it all again just to make you smile. Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Now, today, we gotta talk about God's test and situations around it. Like, you doing bad when you supposed to change your life already. Situations like you walking past somebody's car trunk and instead of closing it for them or just keep walking, your curiosity made you open that trunk to see what's inside, you thinking it's something valuable. Now, that's one scenario. Or somebody's house being open, and instead of walking away, you go inside. Now, that's the extreme. But it could be situations where an ex came back in your life that you knew that person wasn't good for you. Maybe that person was bad for you or made you do things that was bad. Now, let's say you got an ex who, ladies, put his hands on you, verbally abuse you. Fellas, you got an ex who treat you wrong, treated you like a simp, only using you. And when you was in a situation where you couldn't provide what she wanted, she left you alone. So 3 years go by, 5 years go by, you run into abundance, wealth. So instead of finding somebody new, you pick up your phone and you text that ex, or you call that ex, and give it a go. Give it another shot, thinking things would change. Now, that's God's test. God thought you would do that. You did it anyway. Now, think about Job, the book of Job, where the devil wanted God to test Job and see how much faith he had in the Most High. Now, he took a lot from Job. He made him sick. And Job kept faith. You know, people wanted him to doubt the Most High. He kept faith. People were saying you had to do something for these things to occur. Job ain't do nothing, you know? So it was God's test. So the devil kept pushing God to test Job. Do this, or let me do this, and I bet he lose faith. Job ain't lose faith. Job stayed the same. In these times, what we say, Job kept it 100. So you always gotta keep it 100, you know? Let's say, let me give you a test scenario, you know? Fellas, let's say you was from the trap and you turned your life around and times got hard for you. Your homeboy called you up telling you he got a new trap that's booming. And he got a spot for you. But you ain't with that no more. But times is hard, you know. Might got children, a wife to feed, or you downright just need something. Now, that's a test from God. And he letting the devil be the director. Because you know, God ain't going to put you in a situation that you can't get out of, but the devil will. But God will let the devil test you, as he did with Job. So you got to pass that test. Ladies, let's say you was working at a club on a pole and you was getting a lot of money, you know. You didn't worry for nothing, you know. Money was coming in abundance. But you had children. You ain't want them to have a mom out there like that. So what you do? You stopped. You know, you took that money, you went to college, changed your life around. But then times got hard. And your back was against the wall. Next thing you know, that club started looking like you needed to go back, but never go back. Going back is losing your faith. It's just a test, you know? And with this test, if you have faith and you overcome it, we call that a testimony. Now, you be the testimony and pass the test. Because God going to throw some tests at you. And then sometimes He's going to let Satan be the director. Same way He did with Job, you know. Another test, man, is substance abuse, you know. You kick that habit, and for some reason, you get stressed out, depressed. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And you think you need something to ease the pain, to numb the pain. So you go back to what you used to do, whatever substance it is, narcotics, alcohol, food, any addiction, but you kicked it. Now, you don't want to go back to where you came from where you started, and then have to get out that place again. So keep going, keep having faith, and remember, the Most High, He got you. But He do want to test you. He do want to test you. Sometimes people might test their animals, leave a sandwich on the table, training their dog or something not to eat their food. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Or testing their children. You get them a curfew, tell them to be in at 11 o'clock. Now, you don't call their phone and say it's 11 o'clock. You see what they going to do. That's a test. So, pass the test. And that's all I got for y'all today. Till next time, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll be back soon.